You may be walking through something today that feels heavy, a situation that has lasted longer than you expected, a door that didn't open, a prayer that hasn't been answered yet, and if you're not careful, you can start thinking, maybe this is how my story ends. Maybe this struggle defines me. But I came to remind you of a powerful truth from Islam today. Your test is not your end. What you're facing right now is not a sign that Allah has forgotten you. It's not proof that you're behind in life. It's not evidence that your future is limited. In fact, the very challenge that's trying to discourage you may be the place where Allah is preparing your greatest victory. Sometimes we think if Allah really loved us, there wouldn't be obstacles. But Islam teaches us something deeper, something stronger. Allah never promised a life without tests. He promised that every test comes with wisdom growth and an outcome that serves the believer. The test is temporary, but what Allah is developing in you will last a lifetime. You may not see it yet, but Allah sees the full picture. You see the pressure, but Allah sees the purpose. You see the delay, but Allah sees the perfect timing. What feels like a setback is often a setup for something greater than you imagined. There are moments when life doesn't make sense. You did the right thing, yet things got harder. You stayed patient, yet the door stayed closed. You kept your faith, yet the answer didn't come. That's when doubt whispers, this is the end, but Islam boldly declares, this is not the end, this is the process. Allah tells us that ease follows hardship, not before it. That means if hardship is present, ease is already on its way. Victory is not random, it is promised. The struggle is not permanent, it is purposeful. And the delay is not denial, it is divine preparation. You see, Allah doesn't test you to break you. He tests you to elevate you. He tests you to reveal your strength, to draw you closer, to prepare you for levels you could never reach without pressure. Gold is purified by fire, and faith is refined through trials. Some of the strongest believers were tested the hardest. Not because they were weak, but because Allah knew what they could carry. Your tears are not wasted. Your patience is not unseen. Your silent prayers are being recorded. And when the time is right, Allah will turn what hurt you into what honors you. You may feel tired today. You may feel like giving up, but don't quit in the middle of a chapter where Allah is about to show His power. The enemy wants you to believe this moment defines you, but Allah says your ending will be better than your beginning. This test didn't come to stay. It came to pass. And when you come out of it, and you'll be stronger, wiser, closer to Allah, and standing in a victory that makes it clear only Allah could have done this. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, renew your trust, because Islam's promise is clear your test is not your end, and victory is written for those who remain faithful. When you walk through a test, it's easy to assume that something has gone wrong, that you made a mistake, or that Allah is displeased with you. But Islam teaches us a powerful shift in perspective. Tests are not signs of punishment, they are signs of purpose. If Allah wanted to harm you, He would leave you unattended, disconnected, drifting without direction. The fact that you are being tested means you are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something greater than your current understanding. Allah tests those He loves not to weaken them, but to awaken what is already inside them. Pressure reveals strength. Difficulty exposes faith. When life is comfortable, it's easy to rely on yourself. But when you're tested, you are invited to rely on Allah in a deeper, more sincere way. That reliance transforms you. It strengthens your heart, sharpens your character, and elevates your spiritual rank in ways comfort never could. Many people think a smooth path is a blessed path, but in Islam, a meaningful path is often marked by challenges. The prophets, the most beloved to Allah, faced the greatest trials. Their tests were not evidence of failure. They were proof of divine selection. Each hardship they endured carried wisdom lessons and outcomes that shaped nations and inspired generations. In the same way, your test carries a purpose that goes beyond the moment you're in right now. Sometimes Allah allows a test to remove something that would limit you later. Other times, He allows it to build patience, humility, or courage that you will need for the future He has planned for you. What feels like loss may actually be protection. What feels like delay may actually be alignment. Allah is not reacting to your life. He is orchestrating it with perfect knowledge. When you understand that your test has purpose, your mindset shifts. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you begin asking, "What is Allah developing in me through this?" That shift brings peace even in uncertainty. You may still feel the pain, but you're no longer defeated by it. You stand firm, knowing this moment is part of a greater design. Your test is also a reminder that your worth is not measured by ease. Struggle does not mean you are weak or forgotten. It often means you are being trusted with growth. Allah knows your capacity better than you know yourself. He would not place you in a situation without also placing within you the strength to endure it. Every test carries a hidden invitation to rise higher in faith, to draw closer to Allah, and to discover a version of yourself that could not exist without challenge. What you are facing right now is not random, and it is not meaningless. It is part of a divine process that is shaping your future, strengthening your soul, and preparing you for victories that will one day make sense when you look back and realize this trial was never meant to break you, but to build you. One of the greatest struggles in life is learning to trust timing when everything in you wants immediate answers. You pray, you work, you wait, and yet nothing seems to move. In those moments, it can feel like time is working against you, like you're falling behind while others move ahead. But Islam teaches us that Allah's timing is never late, never early, and never mistaken. What feels slow to you is often perfectly aligned with what your heart, your faith, and your future truly need. Allah sees beyond the present moment. You see today's pain, today's delay, today's uncertainty, but Allah sees the outcome, the protection, and the blessing hidden within the wait. If things were given to us the moment we asked, we might receive what we are not ready to carry. A door opening too soon can be just as harmful as a door that never opens at all. Allah's mercy is often found in the pause. There are times when Allah delays something not to deny you, but to prepare you. Preparation happens in the unseen. While you're waiting, your character is being shaped, your patience is being strengthened, and your reliance on Allah is being deepened. You may feel like nothing is happening, but in the spiritual realm, everything is happening. Growth is taking place where eyes cannot see. When you trust Allah's timing, you release yourself from anxiety. You stop measuring your life against someone else's progress and start finding peace in your own journey. Islam reminds us that everyone has a unique path, a unique test, and a unique moment of breakthrough. Comparing timelines only steals joy and weakens faith. Allah did not design your life to unfold like anyone else's. Sometimes what you want right now would actually distract you from what Allah wants to give you later. A delay can be divine protection, saving you from pain you cannot yet imagine. Allah's wisdom covers what you know and what you don't know. He may be keeping something away because it would pull you away from Him, or because something better is being arranged in its place. Trusting Allah's timing doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you continue doing your part while believing that the outcome is in His hands. You show up with effort, sincerity, and patience, knowing that when the moment is right, nothing can stop what Allah has written for you. No person, no obstacle, and no circumstance can block a blessing that has your name on it. Every delay carries meaning. Every waiting season has value. Even when the silence feels heavy, Allah is still working. He is aligning people, circumstances, and lessons so that when the answer comes, it arrives with clarity, strength, and lasting impact. What is meant for you will reach you at the exact moment it is supposed to, not when fear demands it, but when wisdom allows it. Hardship has a way of making you feel like it will last forever, like the weight you are carrying today will define the rest of your life. When pain lingers, it can convince the heart that relief is out of reach and that struggle has become permanent. But Islam reminds us of a liberating truth. Hardship is temporary, while faith is eternal. Circumstances change, seasons shift, and difficulties pass, but the faith you build during those moments stays with you long after the trial is gone. Every hardship has an expiration date, even if you don't know when it will end. What makes the difference is not how long the trial lasts, but how your heart responds within it. Faith anchors you when everything else feels unstable. It keeps you grounded when emotions rise and fall. Without faith, hardship feels unbearable, but with faith, it becomes manageable, meaningful, and transformative. When life is easy, faith can remain untested, quiet, and comfortable. But in hardship, faith becomes active. It speaks in patience when frustration tries to take over. It shows up as trust when fear demands control. It grows stronger each time you choose reliance on Allah over despair. This is why the believer's heart does not break under pressure, even when the body feels tired and the mind feels overwhelmed. Hardship strips away illusions of control and reminds you where true strength comes from. It pushes you to turn inward and upward, to seek help from Allah rather than from circumstances. In those moments, faith becomes more than belief, it becomes a lifeline. You begin to realize that even if the situation doesn't change immediately, you are changing within it, becoming more resilient, more sincere, and more connected to your Creator. The pain you feel today will one day become a memory, but the faith you gain will continue to guide you. Long after the struggle fades, the patience you developed will remain. The trust you built will remain. The closeness to Allah that grew in the quiet moments of hardship will remain. This is the lasting gift hidden within temporary pain. Many people measure success by comfort, but Islam measures success by steadfastness. It teaches us that enduring hardship with faith is a form of victory in itself. You are not losing simply because life is difficult right now. You are winning every time you hold on, every time you pray despite exhaustion, every time you trust Allah, even when answers are unclear. Hardship may shape your days, but faith shapes your destiny. What you are facing now cannot erase the strength of belief rooted in your heart. Trials come and go, but faith continues to grow, deepen, and carry you forward, ensuring that when the hardship finally lifts, you emerge not only relieved but transformed. Holding a faith that will continue to support you through every season that follows delays can feel more painful than outright rejection because they leave you suspended between hope and uncertainty. You're doing your best, making sincere efforts, offering prayers, and still nothing seems to move. Silence can make you question yourself, your worth, and even your direction. But Islam teaches us that every delay carries hidden wisdom, even when that wisdom is not immediately visible to the heart or mind. Allah's wisdom operates beyond what you can see. What appears to be a pause may actually be a process unfolding in the unseen. While you're waiting, Allah may be protecting you from something that would harm you, redirecting you away from a path that looks good, but leads to pain, or preparing circumstances so that when the answer comes, it arrives with peace rather than regret. A delay is often not about absence, but about alignment. There are moments when receiving something too early would weaken you instead of strengthening you. Allah knows the weight of the blessing before placing it in your hands. He knows the emotional, spiritual, and practical readiness required to carry it well. A delayed answer gives you time to grow into the person who can handle what you're asking for without losing gratitude, humility, or faith. Hidden wisdom is also found in what Allah teaches you during the wait. Patience deepens, trust matures, reliance on Allah becomes more sincere. These qualities cannot be rushed, and they cannot be learned in comfort. The waiting season trains your heart to remain steady even when outcomes are uncertain, shaping a resilience that will serve you long after the delay ends. Sometimes Allah delays an answer because something else needs to fall into place first. People must change, circumstances must shift, opportunities must align. You may only see your own situation, but Allah sees how everything connects. What feels like standing still may actually be life rearranging itself for your benefit in ways you could never plan on your own. A delay can also be an invitation to reflect. It allows you to reassess your intentions, purify your desires, and strengthen your connection with Allah beyond the outcome you're hoping for. When your heart learns to trust Allah, regardless of results, you gain a peace that no immediate answer could ever provide. Hidden wisdom means that one day clarity will replace confusion. Looking back, you'll see that what you thought was being withheld was actually being preserved, refined, and delivered at the right moment. The delay you struggled with will reveal itself as mercy, protection, and divine care working quietly in your life, guiding you toward an outcome that serves not just your present comfort, but your long-term growth and spiritual well-being. Patience in Islam is not passive waiting or silent suffering. It is an active, powerful force that unlocks divine help. When you choose patience, you are choosing trust over panic and faith over fear. In moments when everything in you wants to rush, complain, or give up, patience steadies your heart and aligns you with Allah's promise of support. It is in that steady perseverance that divine assistance begins to flow in ways you may not immediately recognize. Patience strengthens your inner world before it changes your outer circumstances. While the situation may remain the same for a time, your response to it evolves. You gain clarity instead of confusion, calm instead of chaos, and resilience instead of despair. This inner transformation is not small, it is preparation. Allah often sends help first to the heart, so that when the external relief arrives, you are able to receive it with wisdom and gratitude. Divine help is often subtle at the beginning. It may appear as renewed strength to keep going, a sense of peace in the middle of uncertainty, or guidance that redirects you away from harm. These are not coincidences. They are signs that Allah is near, responding to your patience by providing exactly what you need to endure the moment you're in. Each act of patience invites more clarity, more strength, and more unseen support. When patience is practiced consistently, it opens doors that force cannot. Rushing often leads to mistakes, regret, and outcomes that create more hardship. Patience, on the other hand, allows Allah's plan to unfold without interference. It keeps you from stepping ahead of divine timing and positions you to receive what is meant for you in a way that brings peace rather than anxiety. Patience also protects your faith during trials. It guards your heart from bitterness and your tongue from complaint. Instead of allowing hardship to distance you from Allah, patience draws you closer. In that closeness, prayers become more sincere, trust becomes deeper, and reliance becomes stronger. This connection is itself a form of divine help, sustaining you even when answers feel delayed. Every moment of patience is noticed. Nothing you endure quietly is ignored. The effort it takes to remain patient when you are tired, confused, or hurting is significant. Allah honors that effort by increasing your spiritual rank and surrounding you with unseen support that strengthens you step by step. What feels like endurance is actually elevation taking place beneath the surface. As patience continues, circumstances begin to shift in ways that feel natural yet perfectly timed. Doors open without struggle. Solutions appear without strain. The help that arrives feels aligned, complete, and lasting. This is the reward of patience activating divine assistance, turning waiting into preparation and endurance into a pathway toward relief and victory promised to those who remain steadfast in faith.